There was a time when it seemed like Katy Perry would always be on top. In the 2010s, she cemented her status as pop royalty, but towards the end of the decade, Katy lost it all. But what happened? Why did everything fall apart for Katy Perry? Katy Perry was everywhere when she dropped her first single, I Kissed a Girl, in 2008. She was an overnight success simply because of how controversial the song was. It seemed like she would be a pop diva forever. Her bubblegum electric pop style was insanely contagious and totally inescapable, and she instantly fit in among entertainment icons of the time like Britney Spears, Rihanna, and Kelly Clarkson. Katy's second album, Teenage Dream, blew up charts all over the world and became her most commercially successful album to date, and it gained her an extremely impressive record. Katy became the second artist ever to have 5 #1 singles come from one album. The only other person who'd done that before was the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. But Katy's royal reign in the pop world didn't end there. The next album, Prism, was also crazy popular and produced 2 more #1s, and she then broke another record with her Super Bowl performance when it became the most watched halftime show of all time. Chances are you know all about Katy's glory days, but you might not have noticed the moments when things began to go downhill for her. Like a lot of pop stars, Katy Perry has been criticized throughout her career for being a little tone deaf when it comes to political correctness, and she sort of has a habit of offending people. For example, she'd been called out for cultural appropriation a number of times. In her music video for the album single, This Is How We Do, she got in trouble for wearing her hair in cornrows. And for her AMA performance of Unconditionally, she upset people of Asian heritage by dressing up as a geisha. But these were just some small examples of how the public were beginning to turn on her. Things took a real change when Katy became more and more political in the lead up to the 2016 election. While other pop artists kept quiet about their political stance so as not to risk losing any fans, Katy Perry was exceptionally vocal in her support for Hillary Clinton, which a lot of people thought actually led to her losing support from a big chunk of her followers. At the Democratic National Convention, Katy sang her 2016 single Rise, which happened to be one of her first singles that seriously underperformed. And I don't know about you guys, but I have a feeling that wasn't a coincidence. But do you want to know one of the biggest reasons why Katy disappeared from the music scene? Well, it had a lot to do with her 4th album, Witness, and not just the album itself, but everything that came before it too. So let's get into it. Like I said before, Katy's political activism was starting to have an effect on her popularity, and when she defined the music of her 4th album as purposeful pop on Twitter, there was plenty of grumbling on social media. Known for her more happy-go-lucky, carefree fantasy pop music, this new description went against the style that she'd become known for. It was a risky move to make and meant that everyone was paying close attention to see if she was actually going to take this new role seriously, or if she was just using her new political identity as a way to promote her music. One of the 5 singles she released, Only Chain Reaction, actually sounded like it had a message of activism behind it. The others didn't exactly scream purposeful pop. The LGBTQI+ community felt let down that she collaborated on Bon Appetit with the openly homophobic rap group Migos. Meanwhile, Swish Wish was supposedly a diss track aimed at Taylor Swift, which didn't feel political at all and was considered by some to anti-feminist. And Katy really seemed to be interested in sparking up her and Taylor's old feud during the promotional campaign for Witness. She spoke about it on James Corden's Carpool Karaoke and the Thrive Global podcast too. But all her antagonizing didn't get a rise out of Taylor, who just kept quiet. So to the public, I think she sort of came across as a little petty and bitter. While trying to act woke, Katy kept making more and more tone-deaf comments and getting herself into hot water. She angered Britney Spears fans when she seemingly made fun of her mental breakdown. Her inconsiderate remarks just went to show that maybe this political and woke persona she was trying on was just that, something she was just trying on. But it didn't feel genuine, and people were seriously turned off by that. When her album finally came out, she changed her Twitter bio to I Know Nothing. Witness actually went on to reach the top of the Hot Billboard 200 chart in its first week, but unlike previous albums, it failed to deliver any #1 singles, and it received mixed reviews from critics too. Some of them commented on how, after her hiatus in between albums, she hadn't come back with the same kind of punch that her last 2 albums had. After her Prism tour, Katy had taken some time out to recuperate from the demanding experience and to focus on her mental health, but a 4-year gap in the ever-changing pop world was a noticeably long time. People had forgotten about Katy, and there was so much new competition that her music just didn't wow us in the same way as before, especially because it seemed like her music was stuck in a different time. Also, a lot of Katy's biggest hits were produced by Dr. Luke in the past, but he wasn't included on Witness because of the legal battle he was involved in with Kesha, which some critics pointed out was why the album was missing the kind of catchy Katy Perry tunes we were used to. So between the negativity surrounding Katy's image during the promotion of The Witness and the letdown of the album's songs, the album didn't end up doing so well commercially compared to her older work. But it's not like her career just ended right then and there. In 2018, things perked up for Katy when she released Never Really Over with Zedd. It showed that she had the chops to make a decent pop song, but it still wasn't able to undo the damage done in her Witness era. When she finally felt ready to come back to the music scene with her 5th album, Smile, she had a few things working against her. Number 1, she was still trying to make up for the disappointment of the Witness era. Number 2, it came out during the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. And number 3, she ended up getting pregnant during the promotion for it. The combination was probably just too much, and the album ended up being the first one to not get a number 1 since her debut album. It only sold 50,000 copies in the first week, which was nothing compared to the success that other pop icons like Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift had that same year. It definitely seemed like Katy had missed her chance to bounce back. Since then, she hasn't made much new music, but she is still singing. She began her Las Vegas residency in December 2021, and it'll end in November 2023. To be fair, Katy has also stated in the past that she did want things to calm down for her. In a 2018 interview, she explained that she felt like she'd rung the bell of being a pop star very loudly. She'd been on the road for 10 years, so she wanted some time to just chill. And that must be even more true now that she's had her baby and is planning her wedding with Orlando Bloom, which is probably why she's taken more stable gigs like the Las Vegas residency and being a judge on American Idol. Even though she received a lot of criticism in the reality shows last season, a source told Page 6 that she wasn't fazed by the backlash. She recently confirmed that she'll be sticking around for season 22, so who knows if she'll ever make a comeback and return to her pop royalty status. But she has left an unforgettable imprint on the music industry, and I'm pretty sure she won't be going anywhere anytime soon, even if that's not in the world of music. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think Katy will still be on top of the charts if she'd taken a different approach to her album Witness? Can you think of any other reasons why she disappeared from the music scene? Let me know in the comments below.